Without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, aautv.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Good morning and welcome to the Hello Africa Morning Show, coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. We'll begin this morning with the top African stories. My name is Philemon Edwards. Elon Musk has made history by becoming the first person to surpass a personal net worth of $500 billion. The Tesla boss briefly hit $5.1 billion as Tesla stock rise in New York before dipping slightly. Musk's wealth comes from a 12% stake in Tesla alongside major holdings in SpaceX and his AI startup, XAI. The milestone highlights both Musk's influence and the volatility of the markets. The achievement also comes amid ongoing debates over his close ties to U.S. President Donald Trump and the Tesla board's proposed $1 trillion compensation package, which could further cement his place as the richest man in history.
On Wednesday, September 17, 2025, Tesla stock surged in New York trading, pushing Musk's fortune to $500.1 billion before easing back to $499 billion later in the day. The 54-year-old entrepreneur holds over 12% of Tesla, whose shares have climbed more than 20% this year, despite criticisms linked to his alignment with U.S. President Trump. Musk's other ventures, including space technology company SpaceX and his artificial intelligence startup XAI, have also added to his growing wealth. He has long led the global rich list, though last month, Oracle founder Larry Ellison briefly overtook him when Oracle shares rose sharply on cloud computing demand. The milestone comes just weeks after Tesla's board proposed a staggering $1 trillion compensation package tied to achieving a future market valuation of $8.5 trillion, more than 8 times the company's current worth. For Musk, $500 billion may only be the beginning as Tesla and his other companies continue to reshape technology, space, and artificial intelligence.
And in Nigeria, 18-year-old university student Obinna Chimdi has created ChatATP, an AI platform developed at the University of Port Harcourt that enables ChatGPT to take real-world actions like booking flights after teaching himself programming to overcome his limits of traditional AI tools. The innovation uses custom-built protocol called Agents 2, which acts like HTTP for AI, allowing language models to connect directly with websites. Though still in its early stages with only a few users, Chimdi hopes to scale the platform into a tool that transforms how AI interacts with the internet.
Obinna Chimdi, a mathematics and computer science student at the University of Port Harcourt, started his journey at the age of 16, where he taught himself programming on his father's mobile phone. Inspired by Mark Zuckerberg, he created his first projects before embarking on his most ambitious yet, ChatATP. The system acts as a bridge between websites and large language models, using custom toolkits and a protocol he calls Agents 2, which he describes as HTTP for AI agents, standardizing how AI communicates with different tools. Unlike ChatGPT, which stops at instructions, ChatATP can analyze a prompt, connect to a website, and execute actions. For example, booking a ticket, sending an email, or updating records, all through natural language prompts. Although ChatATP currently has only 3 users, his neighbor and 2 classmates, Chimdi believes his creation could reshape how AI integrates the real world. But with global competitors like AutoGPT and Lumio AI backed by major funding, his challenge now is to secure resources and scale. Still, for one teenager from Port Harcourt, ChatATP marks a bold step in showing that innovation knows no age or boundaries.
And in our next story, in Morocco, protest group Gen Z 212 on Friday demanded the dismissal of Prime Minister Aziz Akanouch's government after 6 consecutive days of demonstrations across Rabat, Casablanca, Marrakesh, and other cities. The protests sparked by anger over poor health and education services and intensified by reports of 8 pregnant women dying in a public hospital last month have left 3 people dead and hundreds arrested. Protesters say reforms are long overdue, while authorities insist some demonstrators turned violent by vandalizing property and attempting to storm a police station. The government says it is ready for dialogue, but it demands for sweeping change continues to grow.
The group says it wants the government dismissed, accusing leaders of failing to uphold the constitutional rights of Moroccans or respond to urgent social demands. It is also calling for the release of those arrested during the unrest. The protests were fueled by anger over growing inequality and strained public services, particularly after 8 pregnant women died last month in a hospital in Agadir. Demonstrators, mainly waving Moroccan flags, chanted for health, not just stadiums, as the kingdom prepares to host major international sporting events. Prime Minister Aziz Akanouch, speaking for the first time since the arrest began, acknowledged the crisis, calling deaths regrettable and pledging to open dialogue. The Interior Ministry confirmed that 3 people were killed this week after clashes near a police station. Authorities say that 400 people have been arrested and over 80 public and private establishments vandalized. Yet, Gen Z 212 insists its movement is peaceful and distances itself from violent incidents, urging citizens to protest responsibly. Protesters say their demands are simple: dignity, social justice, and an end to corruption. Whether dialogue or confrontation prevails will determine if Moroccans' unrest escalates or paves the way for reform.
A Ghanaian man identifying himself as King Atehehe of the Kubala Kingdom was arrested by immigration officers in Jedburgh on the Scottish border after he and 2 followers set up camp in a woodland they claim was stolen from their ancestors. The trio, who call the site their kingdom, were evicted following days of tension as authorities cited illegal encroachment and immigration violations. Ofer had earlier declared that only his creator could decide when they should leave the land. The unusual case has sparked debate about sovereignty, immigration, and cultural identity in the UK.
36-year-old Kofi Ofer, who called himself King Atehehe of the Kubala Kingdom, was detained alongside his partner, Jean Gashaw, a 42-year-old Zimbabwean, and their so-called handmaiden, Cara Taylor, from Texas. The trio had pitched camp near the town of Jedburgh, declaring the woodland their kingdom. Ofer had earlier insisted that his decision to remain on the land was spiritual, not political, saying his tribe's actions were guided by the Creator. He declared that all nations and all lands belong to the Kubala Kingdom and that no man had power to remove them. The group argued that they were reclaiming land they alleged was taken from their ancestors 400 years ago. But law enforcement officials moved in after repeated attempts to evict them failed. Immigration enforcement officers confirmed the arrest, citing unlawful encroachment and immigration violations. The case has stirred local attention, raising questions about sovereignty, immigration, and cultural identity.
With brief conflicts raging from Ukraine to Gaza and Congo, the call for peace has never been louder. Peace Ambassador Clemens Jato stressed that peace is more expensive than war. Drawing on his role in resolving Ghana's century-long Alavanyo-Nkonya conflict, he explained that peace is subjective. For some, it's food on the table. For others, the end of suffering. He argued that diplomacy alone rarely works, insisting that real peace demands law, discipline, and decisive action. With global unrest highlighting the urgency of real solutions, this is his perspective.
I ask people, what is peace? It's subjective. For a woman who is being molested by the husband, the death of the husband will bring her peace.
True.
For someone who manufactures arms, the sale of his arms will bring him peace. Someone just wants food on the table for peace. Now, I don't believe in diplomacy when it comes to fighting for peace, because peace itself is more expensive than war or conflict.
Yeah.
You can only attain peace when one side is stronger than the other side. When one side seems vulnerable, that is where they will agree to any peace negotiations. If we are all strong, we keep fighting. So government comes in as a third party to instill discipline and then prosecute people for perpetuating illegalities. That way you have peace. But when both sides disagree, they keep fighting.
Yeah.
So I don't see the act of peace as sitting at a round table, drinking coffee and having dialogue. No, that has never brought about peace in any jurisdiction.
True.
The records are clear. So I feel peace can only be attained when one side feels vulnerable. So if you hear my name, things that come around my name that do not talk about peace, it actually brings about peace.
That was Peace Ambassador Clemens Jatto sharing deep insights on what it truly means to attain peace from his conversation on Impact Stories hosted by Mami Aautv. You can watch the full interview and more inspiring episodes of Impact Stories on the Association of African Universities TV YouTube channel. And this is how we end the Top African Stories. Stay tuned, we'll be back with our news discussion.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with aautv. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on aautv. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. aautv reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch aautv free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at aautv. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. aautv, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hello Africa, keep watching aautv, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Hello again and welcome to the Hello Africa Morning Show. Just gone past is the top African news if you missed it. And I'm here this morning with the lovely Isabella. Tete Ahina.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing well.
Your black and white reminds me of many things. It reminds me of a lawyer. It reminds me of people singing in the choir. It reminds me of school kids. A lot of things.
Yeah.
But
myself, when coming, I said I look kind of I'm in a uniform. Yeah. But I mean, I look good, right?
It does look good on
Thank
you.
you very much.
How was your weekend?
Quite occupied. A whole lot of things to do. Prepare myself for the week. Yeah.
Well, same here. It was a busy weekend. I think I need 48 more hours to
you
complete
need 2
my
more
week.
days.
But we'll get through it.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll just go straight into the news review with our first story, and I'll just go through this quickly. The African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, has officially expired on October 1st after 25 years. The deal had allowed more than 30 African countries to export thousands of products duty-free to the United States. In Kenya, it supported the textile and apparel sector, helping factories compete with Asian exporters and employing more than 66,000 people, many of which are women. With AGOA gone, these exports now face tariffs of 10% or higher, threatening jobs, businesses, and national revenues. Kenyan President William Ruto has called for a 5-year extension, but the Trump administration has only backed a 1-year renewal. Experts warn that without quick action, the economic and social fallout across Africa could be severe. This is not good news, Bella.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this video and then we'll get into the discussions further.
New trade deal, our Minister for Trade has been here. They've met with the trade representative and we've made good progress. Indications are that before the end of this year, we should sign off a trade deal with the US. I will be having a conversation later this evening with Secretary Rubio, and one of the push that I will be asking him is for the US to consider seriously renewing and extending AGOA for at least a minimum of 5 years, because it is a platform that connects Africa and the US in a very fundamental way. And it can go a long way in solving some of the trade deficits and challenges that exist at the moment, especially in the context of where the world is going. We believe that AGOA gives both Africa and the US a best chance to expand and deepen trade between the United States.
All right, so that was Kenyan President speaking in relation to the AGOA situation. So before the video, Bella, I was asking, what's your general perspective about this thing?
AGOA.
Yeah.
Actually, it's an act, right? And it has a duration. So, of course, we were all looking forward to its expiration. But I don't know why Africans are still concentrating on this act. I mean, requesting for an extension and all that, when we already had or heard about the reciprocal tariff that the Trump administration, established. That was a 10% tariff, even though at that time the AGOA was running.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't consider the opportunities or the opportunities provided in this act, but he still, came out with the tariff saying that these and these countries should pay this amount of tax when it comes to export. So now AGOA is ending and we are still concentrating on the act, asking for an extension. It's about time this is quite a blow, but we were all looking forward to it. And I think by now, countries and government officials should have had plans on what they are going to do in terms when the AGOA comes to an end. Now, if the Trump administration is willing to extend, I think the story made mention 1 year.
Yeah.
And even the benefit in it is going to reduce. I mean, there's going to be some kind of strict strategies and all that. That's Africans are still going to, pay something for exportation. So it's about time we come together. And I think we've discussed this before, where the African Union, I think, came up with some concerns with that was when the tariff news came fresh and people were scared about how things are going to go and all that. And the African Union came with strategies. I mean, it made mention that this is the time we need to consider or concentrate on the after free trade area and all that. But after that concept and all that, we put it aside, and now here comes AGOA ending, and we are asking for an extension.
Well, the extension pretty much sounds like Africa has never been ready or been prepared
to rely on itself,
and that's not too good for us, because given the extension of 1 year, what happens after 1 year if President Trump does not give further extension? Because this act has existed for the last 25 years, and I believe in the space of 25 years, Africa, or the nations who have benefited from this act, should have been in the position by now to be able to be self-sufficient. I believe 25 years is enough. I can just compare the situation of, I know Africa is a big continent, but I'll just use the case of the United Arab Emirates, where within the last 30 years, we all know what Dubai has become now. Dubai 20 years ago, 30 years ago was not what it is today. And now it's one of the world's best destinations for tourism, and raking in several hundreds of millions of dollars every year for the Emirates. So I am just a bit disappointed to know that after 25 years of this act existing, knowing very well that there was a duration and expiration to it, many states who benefited from this have not done anything extensively to want to, become self-sufficient after this. Because I just look into the brief and I realize that during this past 25 years, over 1,800 products from African countries were accessible across into other countries or continents because of this act. In 2024 alone, our exports to the US under AGOA was over $8 billion. That's a lot. That's in 2024 alone.
And
so you can imagine what the past years have brought to us, and there are various countries benefiting over this. So it's very sad to note that after 25 years, we are still looking for further extension. Now, let's just say that President Trump will agree to further extension. The big question is, how long or how much time are we looking at for another extension? Are we looking at another 25 years? Because I doubt if that is going to happen, especially if President Trump is still in office, okay? Because he also wants to protect his country and also wants to save money for his country.
Very true.
Yeah. So if, let's say, beyond the 1 year, he even still wants to go ahead and do something, how long are we thinking that he's going to grant after this?
So we're talking about how long he is going to grant. We can't predict.
Exactly.
But again, for us to have 25 years duration and then it ending and asking for an extension of 5 years, of course, probably should it end that 5 years? Maybe that is if the president accepts it and it ends. Maybe during these 5 years, that is when Africans are going to sit up and say that, maybe there's something behind it which we are not
before now, ready. We haven't made any plans.
We are not ready for that. So let's sit up and use this 5 years to, align ourselves, and so that in case it ends and then President Trump or whoever is in power does not extend it, we know that we can rely on ourselves. But it's sad, again. It's sad that we are calling for an extension, because already we've been fighting and asking and saying that we shouldn't concentrate on exporting raw materials. We should have manufacturers and manufacturing companies and all that here, so that at least we add some values to these raw materials. And when we are exporting, it's not like the raw material for them to finish it and send it back to us for us to buy. We should have these manufacturing companies here, and then we add values to the product, and then we can also sell it to them. So even if there is a tariff on the export, we know that we've added values and it's going to increase. We are going to earn more from it than exporting the raw materials. And I saw the story made mention of some of the disadvantage. Of course, I mean, if you are not prepared and then something takes off under your feet, you are going to fall. But this is the time for us to stand firm. we are looking at the disadvantage and then the challenges we are going to face. But this is also an opportunity. We are saying that it's provided about 66,000 job opportunities for people. This and should they not extend this act, it's an opportunity for you to, add value, like I was saying, to your product. And if you are going to add value, let's say cocoa, you're going to add value. That's also job creation for people. So instead of us not focusing on the challenges, we should look at the opportunities this is bringing. And again, we have a policy or a strategy that is focusing on intra-trade, Let's not look at these foreign and the Western world and all that, rely on them, and focus on ourselves. We can make it. I believe we can do it without relying much on the Western countries.
I like that you mentioned the fact that jobs are going to be lost, because there are 66,000 over 66,000 jobs that were created in this. But when we go further, directly, jobs that are related to this are over 300,000 in agua countries. So imagine over 300,000 direct jobs losses across these countries. So I do agree with you.
But you are not losing. He said you should pay 10% tariff. Why are we?
Of course.
Then it was duty free.
I know
but
that
now you just have to pay something.
Yeah.
So you are not losing.
Yeah.
We shouldn't look at it like, okay, our job is going to cut, or we are not going to do anything.
So
or
that's where the self-sufficiency.
Or he's even stopping exportation. No, he said you should pay this amount of money. So that's
that's fair. So that's why I agree with you on the issue of
adding value
to the things that we produce from Africa, and then becoming self-sufficient. Because at the end of the day, when we are self-sufficient, we can do more than 300,000 jobs for all of these nations that are going to be affected. My only challenge is that, within this space where we are going to experience this setback, how quickly can the government react to do something quickly, such that they can make sure that the fall will not be so heavy, and then people will quickly rise up out of this thing. People will get back to their feet quickly, get back to new jobs, create new ones, whatever, and the economy, because this is going to have a serious economic downturn on all of these countries that are going to be affected. And that's where my fear is. Because when there's economic problems, it gives rise to other things which is not good for all of these countries. It gives rise to crime and all of these things. So you can imagine what is going to happen in the next few years if beyond the extension of 1 year, we have to do the 10%, and then we are not enjoying the free trade anymore. This kind of, so it's for me, it is a major problem, and that is where I am looking at, because it makes us vulnerable, or the countries involved in this extremely vulnerable. I'm looking at figures, and then specifically, for example, in Kenya, Agua boosted the apparel exports from $55 million in 2001 to over 600 million plus in 2022. Look at the difference.
Exports,
So the difference of $55 million up to $600 million. This is just
years.
This is a huge figure. So imagine these setbacks and losses in revenue, because you won't be able to hit 600 million plus anymore. If God doesn't intervene, you might not even do the $55 million that you did in 2001. Okay, so these are major issues that that needs to be looked at. So I just hope that President Ruto, for example, who's obviously concerned about this, would be able to... He's
not the only one. Most of the...
I'm only using as an example that he and whoever else is involved, all of these governments possibly should come together. That's why there's the AU. You mentioned AFTAC and all that. So maybe this is where some speedy resolutions must come in. We do a lot of talking in Africa, there are a lot of
and we have the policies,
seminars,
we have the strategies and all that.
The strategies and implementations, how far they go, only God can tell. Again, I always talk about sustainability, about even our policies and all of. There's not always a proper plan to make sure the sustainability plan is long term. At most, I can just say that maybe we do well when it comes to short term, but you need to look beyond the short term, because you have generations coming after you, and you need to think about them. And that's one of the challenges when it comes to governance in Africa, because many African governments do not often think about the generations that are coming. They are often thinking about here and now, and then the next 5 years or 10 years, when possibly politically they will have the power to be in office, then that's about it. Then what happens when you're out of office?
Yeah.
You know, these are the things that we need to be
Yeah.
looking at. So countries like Kenya, Lesotho, South Africa are going to be heavily impacted, but I mean,
South Africa is already impacted because their tariff is, I think, 30% compared to others who had 10%. So already they have been fighting. I mean, they're trying to negotiate with the Trump administration to, you know, lower their tariff and all that. But it is what it is. The AGOA has ended, and yes, we are asking for an extension. But aside the extension, we should also focus on ourselves. Try to leverage on some of the policies that are contextualize, you know, self reliance rather than falling or relying on the Western countries. Now, I also see that aside we relying on ourselves and then adding values to our raw materials before even exporting, which is going to increase our income. Some are also saying that other continents are also going to benefit, like the EU and then the China and the Asian continent are going to benefit from this drawback of the US or the AGOA act, saying that okay, should because maybe US is saying okay, this is what you have to pay before you will be able to export. Maybe why not also look at China or maybe the EU countries to
that's another alternative, and that also depends on what they
again. That means we are not going to be self-reliant. We are going to depend on
so
others.
in at the back of all of this, while we try to possibly look for another option, to replace the US, so whether EU or China. The governments must make sure that within this process there is a proper plan so that we can be able to, most importantly, diversify when it comes to our economies, so that things of this nature beyond the next, if assuming you're going to get 5 or 10 years, whatever happens beyond these things, like there should be a proper plan to be able to make all of these countries, self-sufficient.
All right.
So we go to the next story. Bella, you can take
let me take that. So the next story focuses on DR Congo, and it says that the former president Joseph of DR Congo, that is President Joseph Kabila, has been sentenced to death in absentia by a military tribunal in Kinshasa. Now, he's been found guilty of treason, war crimes, and then crimes against humanity, accused of supporting the M23 rebel group that recently took over part of Eastern Congo. Kabila wasn't in court, and his whereabouts remain unknown. So this is the former president of DR Congo, who has been sentenced to death without his presence at court. Aside that, he has also been fined to pay an amount of money. I'm trying to look for it. So yes, to pay billions of dollars in damages to the state and victims. So it varies between 30 billion to 50 billion US, not in their currency.
Okay.
Dollars.
Okay.
And now there is this story is kind of disturbing. People are trying to understand why he's being sentenced to death without his presence. And people are questioning.
That's allowed in law.
It's very, very allowed.
You can be tried in absentia.
Very, of course. I mean, especially when you are not. It means that why are you not present when you've been cautioned or you've been
especially when you have tried to evade the process severally. I mean, these things happen.
Yeah. And you know what? This story, when I saw this story, I was quite surprised because already, the war in Congo, we've been, especially with the M23 rebel group, we've been accusing Rwanda for supporting this group into taking the territory in Congo. And now hearing that actually is the former president who supports them and other crimes. I mean, when I saw it, I was quite surprised. And we already had some countries coming in to even try to support or try to, calm the war that is happening in Congo. And now here comes their own official. It's actually one of the people behind the escalation of the war. I mean, seeing this story, I was quite surprised. What's your opinion on that?
For me, it gives a lot of issues. Okay, it gives rise to a lot of issues because, for example, Joseph Kabila is a former president, first of all. So this will give rise to some sort of tension in the country. The judgments passed alone. We can think about or look at if the judgment that has been passed, for example, he deserves that or not. I've seen arguments as to whether if they couldn't have done like life imprisonment for him or and things of that
No, but
nature.
you know, when you are guilty of treason, like treason,
so
it's
yes, so that's where I'm coming to,
okay.
because that's the argument people are making. But then again, it is law.
Yeah.
And there's a repercussion for some kinds of what do we call it?
Crimes.
Yeah, that's the word. Crimes that you commit. So if for treason, this is one of the things that must be meted out to the person who is the culprits. I don't see why it cannot be done. I mean, the law is the law.
Yeah.
That does not mean that I'm not trying to put a human face to it, but we need to make sure in a certain sense also that some of these things should not repeat itself again in the history, not in Africa, not in anywhere in the world, because the lives that were lost during this,
the war.
I mean, it's crazy. People lost families, husbands, wives, children, I mean, a lot of people. So it's not a thing that should happen anywhere. If he has been found guilty and this is what he has to pay for, yeah, well, it's unfortunate, but the law is what it is. If there's a way out of the law, something can be done about it. If something can be done about it, fair enough, that's about it. But I feel like these things are not, people shouldn't look at it in a bad state or bad taste, because you need to put people in their place so that these kinds of things do not happen over time. Because if we don't check these things, we'll be having wars, people will walk away scot-free, kill people, kill families, and then, I mean, they walk away. Do we know the pain that these people endure, I mean, having lost all of these lives? I mean, so I feel like people should look at the situation more objectively. As to how people might come up with their, especially supporters of Kabila might not be happy and make cases.
I was about to touch on that. I mean, this is the judgment from the court, and we all know that the judiciary is a bit like they are neutral, right?
Yeah.
They don't. So I'm quite surprised that people are saying, I mean, the judgment was kind of politicized and just to cut the legs, or just to lower the power of the opposition and all that, so that he may not be able to even come again in power and all that. No, I mean, it just like you made mention, it is law, and no matter who you are, if you've committed a crime and you are found guilty, you need to face the consequences. And this, they are saying, I mean, death is the penalty given. Death penalty is the result given to him, or the what the judge is saying. I mean, he should face it. And now his whereabouts is nowhere. We don't know where he is, and I know he is there. He's hidden. People are covering up, making it too political and all that. But this is the time, and Congo should be like, the Congolese should be very, very happy that, I mean, this is happening. It shows that there's justice. It shows that if you are in power and you commit a crime, you can face judgment, and no matter who you are, you will be hidden by the rules and regulations. So, Congolese should, like, people in Congo should be very, very happy, and this should also serve as a warning to other officials or government authorities that, hey, I need to be careful. I need to ensure that I'm doing the right thing. I need to ensure that, I mean, the state or the country is the priority and not my personal gains or whatever it is.
That's my highlight about the issue. The fact that you can hold somebody accountable for whatever their actions are, regardless of their status, president, former president, whatever, and whoever, however. I mean, everybody should be subject to the law. I mean, nobody is supposed to be above the law. If we encourage these things, especially in Africa, we have no idea the kind of traps or things that we'll be setting ourselves up for in the future. So, I mean, the law should take its course. And like I'm saying, if there is a way out of it, I believe he has lawyers. They can be able to appeal and look into it, maybe take off the death sentence or whatever, and look, whether it's life in prison, whatever is available that they can use as a case for arguments, it can be done. But I am just excited to know that at least the law is working. And most importantly, it is setting an example for other leaders, not only in DRC, but across Africa. Because we have had too much of these kinds of things happen in Africa, and in this day and age, I don't believe anybody wants to have a repeat of these kinds of things. So
of course,
let's hope
and we are also seeing that there's going to be some intervention from neighboring countries, as well as institutions like international institutions. So it says that Rwanda and Uganda might be particularly sensitive given their roles in alleged association. Like I made mention already, we were looking at Rwanda supporting the M23 to the power and to take some territories in Congo. And we're also seeing that the African Union, yes, I remember we talked about the African Union, I mean, trying to bring out strategies to ensure that Rwanda and then Congo or whoever is involved in this conflict will try and, I think they were bringing up measures to ensure that there is some conflict resolution. That was after Trump met with Rwanda to negotiate, and no, I think met with Congo to negotiate on how they can help or support with stopping the war. So it seems that the African Union and other international actors may also intervene, question the legitimacy or pressure for appeal or oversight. What do you think the African Union should be involved in this? Like right now that they have given the verdict or they have passed out the rules or the judgments?
Well, I think the African Union has its role in when it comes to diplomacy and then issues of justice.
Currently, it's an internal issue which has been
but
gone through the court processes and all that, and they found him guilty, and the judgment is, passed. Do you think it's appropriate the African Union should come in?
I mean, like I'm saying, the UN has, the AU has its role. I believe that if the AU has to come in, they will come in based on if it is necessary or not. Because sometimes you have to look at the fact that if you intervene in the matter, you are, disrupting the course of justice.
Exactly.
Okay. So if for whatever reason, like you said, for treason, there is some kind of punishment that must go.
They've given the evidence and all that.
Yes. And this is
what he has done.
Exactly. So if the law has done its job, they have served the sentence and all of that, they have passed the sentence. If it's not necessary, the AU should not come into this matter because I don't see what they would have to do. Okay, because the AU governs Africa. We have seen issues about, for example, Rwanda and Uganda's involvement in this situation. I mean, imagine AU comes in to talk about this, maybe for the sake of diplomacy and whatever, and then Uganda and Rwanda are drawn into it. Other African countries could equally say that, okay, we understand this and this and this, but we think that the law should take its course because there's proof, there's this, there's that, and so the person is guilty and the court has found him whatever, and he has, the sentence has been passed. So why are you interfering in the process of justice? These things can even give rise for people or countries to say that, okay, I'll opt out of the AU because they can interrupt my, internal, issues of governance and all of these things. So these are the kind of things that the AU must think about. I mean, even it goes beyond the AU, even to the United Nations and even the ICC. So it's not just as easy or as simple as we are just talking about. It's a big deal. So for me, as long as the law has worked, there's proof of the crimes and whatever, it is what it is.
Exactly. So I mean, it's about time we face and take responsibility and accountability. This serves as a mark for other government officials to sit up and do the right thing. Because if he's actually arrested and facing the sentence, it means former officials, government officials are also going to, because this is just one person, and I know that there are processes, or it's in process for other government officials to also face judgment. I mean, I know for sure that he's not the only one who will be convicted in this case. So the others should prepare for this, and this serves again as a warning to other officials.
Absolutely.
No matter who you are, you will be faced with the judgment.
Exactly. Let me read a couple of messages that have come in from the discussion so far. So there's a message from Timmy in Kenya, and Timmy says Trump is more likely to renew AGUA because it is in the interest of the United States to continue it. AGUA does not only benefit African businesses to the tune of $30 billion plus in exports. American businesses mostly need the raw materials and imports, especially in agriculture, textiles, and tropical food not grown within the U.S. like cocoa. Well, that's a good point.
Well, I'm not in support with Timmy saying that Trump is yes, he is benefiting, but he knows he was benefiting before he brought out the 10% tariff. So yes, he's benefiting from the exportations and all that, but again, he knows that should I add the 10% tariff to it, I'm going to benefit more.
Well, I mean,
he can choose to say that, oh, I'm not receiving it. Trump, okay, I don't want to say a lot, but I mean, his administration is even U.S. like. Americans are even confused with some of his strategies and all that. I mean, they don't really understand him. But I know
to a certain extent.
Yeah, but I know for sure what his purpose and the reasons why he's doing all what he's doing. So yes, he was benefiting from it, but he realized that no, he's being cheated and things are not being fair. So he came out with a 10% tariff. That's the basic.
Well, that's most especially for the interest of America anyway, so that's fine. So another message is here from Kemi in Nigeria, and Kemi says, it's sad to see Agua expire. Millions of jobs may vanish across Africa. Kenya alone risks 65,000. Ethiopia, Lesotho, Ghana, Eswatini, Madagascar, and more all feel the heat. Time for Africa to rise, diversify, and power up after.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's time for Africa to do the needful. All right, very so we'll move on to the next story. It's a bit exciting for me because it comes with football. So South Africa's 2026 World Cup qualifying campaign has suffered a serious blow. FIFA has deducted 3 points after determining that midfielder Thibaut Mokoena was fielded in a match qualifier against Lesotho despite being suspended for accumulated yellow cards. Now, the 2-0 victory was overturned to a 3-0 forfeit, and South Africa was fined 10,000 Swiss francs. That's an equivalent of 12,536 thousand US dollars. The sanction reshuffles Group C standings. Benin now leads on goal difference, with South Africa tied on 14 points. Nigeria and Rwanda are now in contention as the automatic qualification spot becomes more contested. The decision raises questions about administrative competence in South African football, the fairness and timeliness of FIFA's disciplinary process, and whether Bafana can rebound in their last 2 matches. My initial reaction when I saw this is that, in their last qualifier for the World Cup, South Africa fielded a player who has already accumulated yellow cards and is not supposed to be in that match, because when you have a certain number of yellow cards, it's more like a red card, basically. So you're not supposed to feature.
I know 2, or is it 2? Makes red, right?
Yeah. Good. So you're not supposed to feature in the next match. So my number 1 question is, how?
I actually have lots of questions for you, because this is your field, so I have lots of questions for you.
So,
but you
generally, whose error was this?
Good. That's my first question.
You know,
who is to be blamed for
this? You always have the team sheet. You know what happens.
And do you think FIFA's sanction on them, is it fair?
Because I know you're asking that question because FIFA may have also not done their job
exactly,
because
I don't know much about football, but I know very well that before the team will come to the field, they submit their players, they submit their names, they submit the first 11, those sitting at the bench and all that. You saw this. Well, does it mean that they didn't go through, they didn't see the player's name in it for them to say, no, this is our comment, replace this player, because it may be an oversight from the coach, which is not right. But that's why we have process. It goes through this to this before they come to the final day of the match. So if this should happen, first off, FIFA should be should first take the blame before even passing the yes. Unless maybe they were cautioned and they didn't listen to exactly, and then they still brought him, or find a ways and means to bring him on field, which is not appropriate. So my first question is, who is to be blamed for this? And was that fine or the punishment given to South Africa, was it fair?
Was it fair? So in the first place, I honestly think this should be the problem of the South African FA, because you have your players, when you fill them for every match, you take note of the things that happen. Okay, so you are supposed to know that this person has 2 yellow cards or whatever number of yellow cards that does not allow him to play the next match. So it is your duty as the coach or whoever, assistant manager, whatever, to make sure that this player does not get fielded for the next match. That's number one. Now, you fail to do that. Okay, so the other side where you're talking about if it is a fair punishment, because FIFA should have also known. Okay, because when the sheets is submitted, they should also be able to tell maybe this is the records based on the team and so on and so forth. Now, the other thing I'm thinking of is FIFA can allow that to slide in a certain sense, so that you get the punishment.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Okay.
Because this is football.
Okay, I can.
The dynamics of football is not only on the pitch. Okay. Behind the or before the pitch. Basically, the pitch is, let's say, the last thing we see. What goes on before we see the action on the pitch is a lot. There's a lot of things that go on in training, player development, blah, blah, blah. I mean, all the paperwork, the local FA is working with FIFA and all of those things. So it is possible that FIFA can make the slide and you take the punishment because you haven't been responsible for your job. If this is a direct thing that should come from FIFA, then I could easily say maybe FIFA was wrong, okay, and should take the fall for this rather than the South African FA. So I feel that could be the reason. I don't know
it could be.
For sure. That is entirely what it is. But if you have not done your job, I'm not the one to come and tell you. Okay.
So does it mean that the South African the team didn't do their job, or they have? Well, I don't know.
Even if it's an oversight, okay, you still have not done your job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm trying to understand. Is it that they don't have a system to determine, okay, this person was disqualified, or they don't have data to prove that, okay, so Isabella had two yellow cards, so she's not playing. We replace her with the next match. This person had 1 yellow card, so maybe she should go the second time or that. It's that they don't have the detailed or the data to prove that, okay, this is what we are going for with the next match.
that gives rise to serious internal control issues.
Okay.
Whose job was it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if it is the manager or coach's job, but regardless, there's always a technical team. When there's a coach, there's an assistant coach, there is somebody responsible for goalkeeper training, and somebody responsible for midfielders. Like, there's various positions when it comes to the technical or management team of a football club, or even the national teams of every nation. South Africa is not a novice when it comes to football.
Exactly.
In
They've
Africa
been in it for a very long time.
It's for that reason they even hosted the 2010 World Cup. So for a country of this magnitude when it comes to football in the world and in Africa to have serious internal control issues, it means there's a problem internally, number one. So that must be checked.
Or they thought maybe they can allow this to happen. FIFA wouldn't
will not notice. Well, that will not be a smart thing to do, you know, for me, because look, lately in football, nothing can go hidden. Nothing can go hidden because, for example, with the introduction of VAR, okay, I can review.
Nothing can go hidden. Okay. Yes.
On the field of play, nothing can go hidden because I can review videos and tapes and get records.
But mostly when it happens, I don't see any huge punishment. Let's say, for example, there was to be a penalty, right? And the referee didn't take the penalty. Mostly when the match is done and they do the review, they only punish the referee for not taking the point or the team, the points they had, they don't take it just like just like they've done.
So we are digressing a little bit of this issue, but it's an important issue as well. It's a major thing. FIFA and the referees are talking about because let's look at it in a certain.
I brought this in because I'm like I was saying that maybe the South African team, they thought they can, allow this and even if they are caught, it's not going to be a huge penalty, maybe like the fine and not the points that they attained during the match.
Yeah. So I'll make you an example. I think last 2 seasons with club football, Liverpool and Tottenham were involved in a football match. I think Tottenham had taken the lead and Liverpool was trailing. In the game later on, Liverpool scored a goal which was deemed to be offside. Okay, but it was a clear goal. Now, VAR was not allowed to review the thing fully for the judgment to be made for play to go on. It was after the game closed that somehow, some way, the conversation between the VAR units and the referee, which is always recorded, came up. And in the conversation, it is heard clearly that this is a goal. It should have been allowed to stand. But it was ruled as offside. Liverpool lost some points out of that.
That was during the game, when it ended.
And then it has ended. So it has gone against Liverpool, but that's a game Liverpool could have easily won. And now,
was somebody punished for that?
So the referee was suspended.
But still they didn't get the
points was not allocated to Liverpool.
So why didn't
these
they
are some of the challenges.
Why didn't they just find?
But then again, when you look at it on the other side of the issue, if we want to go by this trajectory, what it means is that every game that is played in football that has issues will always be reviewed, and every team would want a certain decision overturned, which will not be a good thing. So now, football we played on the pitch. After we are done on the pitch, now we have to go to court or to VAR or whatever to review issues and always come back to see what happened or what didn't happen. These are major issues. So we have to try to find the balance so that often the things that have been put in place would be able to make things work, smoothly.
I get it, but I think the punishment is too, especially when Bafana was looking forward
but
to
this
qualify.
this one is a clear issue when, as a team,
Did the player score?
No, it doesn't matter if he scored or not. Again, we have just talked about the law in the Kabila issue. It's rules and regulations. The player has had 2 yellow cards and cannot play in the next game. It is.
But what? Okay. Well,
it's the reason there are other people who are on the bench.
I think the punishment is too much. A fine will do, but
next time South Africa won't do that. Like I said, they're football
not
nation.
Just South Africa, maybe other team will also not try doing that.
So it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So now, it gives hopes
to the
Nigeria,
other countries,
especially
in the same group. But we'll see what happens. All is not lost. We'll see what happens. A miracle can happen.
We have just Africa. Too much.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I'm looking forward to South Africa because it may be a slight mistake. So this is a huge punishment to them. Anyway, moving on to the next story, and this is in Uganda. It says that so thousands of girls are still being denied access to education even though the government guarantees free schooling. Now the problem, experts are saying that hidden costs like uniform, exams fees and then school supplies are keeping many families from sending their daughters to school. Aside this, we have other challenges, cultural challenges like child marriages, teenage pregnancy and poor school conditions, which are forcing even more girls out of the classroom. Advocates are now pushing for stricter fees regulations, more financial support and then community campaigns to help girls stay in school and secure a better opportunity or a better future. Now, Phil, so this is free education for girls, and apparently what we think or we're thinking that it's free education has its own challenges, and this you wouldn't know if you've not experienced it before, because I'm supporting with my brother, and in Ghana we have free higher education. It says free, but my dear, it is not free. It is not free compared to my time when we were paying fees to what is happening now that we say it's free education. It is not free because you end up buying. So to me, I think what is free is a tuition only.
Absolutely.
Tuition only. Aside that, you buy the textbooks, you buy the school uniform, you buy the house attire, you buy almost even A4 sheets you buy. Oh yes. But then my time when we were paying the school fees, It had the boarding fees, it had maintenance fees, it had tuition fees. I got free school uniform. I got textbooks from the library and all that. The only thing that I bought was like personal things just to add up to what I'm being taught. But now, and then my provisions as a boarder. But now, it's not free education. No.
Okay.
It is not.
So, on just on the surface of that, I would disagree with you slightly because when we say free, we need to understand what is free.
Okay.
Okay. I look at it in the context where the tuition is free. So you're not paying for the tuition. The government absorbs that part. Okay. Now, your school uniform will be worn by you. Your textbooks will be read by you.
Okay.
Your boarding facilities will be used by you. Your provisions are for you. The teachers are teaching you, and the government will pay them for that. What you spend on all of the things that I've just listed now, will not affect the person that's teaching you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just say that there was not free tuition. And now the government says everybody is going to pay their tuition fee. Definitely means that the school fees or whatever you are spending, in addition to the school fees, now your tuition fee will shoot up.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because
then when we're paying school fees, I mean, we had textbooks, right? We had school uniforms, right? We had the house attires and everything.
Yeah.
Are you saying that all these combined was what we were paying as school fees?
Including your tuition?
No.
So you were not paying tuition fee?
I don't.
You should recollect. Try to recollect. Because there was always the tuition fee for every term.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And that's what has been taken out.
So just that?
Just what has been taken out.
Oh, then they shouldn't say free education. No. Oh, I'm serious, because when you say free senior high school or free education,
but
it means when I stand up as a
have to carry my bag.
Student, I carry my bag.
Or I can even just walk into the school without anything, and then I'll be provided everything.
It's free.
I don't think that should work.
It is free. I don't need to. The government should provide the textbooks for me just like they were providing. And so because my textbooks were taken back when I finished school. I had to go to the library and then submit.
Those ones you take from the school, from the library.
But now it is not. No, it's not from the library.
I remember paying for books, and I brought them home. Yeah, I brought them home.
You paid at the school?
Yeah,
or
so
personal,
it's part of your fees, okay, when you pay. So
and you brought it back?
So I brought them home because I have paid for them. I have bought them. I have books. Yeah, I didn't have to return them to the school. The books that I only return are books borrowed from the school's library. Okay?
Anyway, like I was saying, that we shouldn't term it as free higher education, right? It should be maybe free tuition for all students. And then parents will know that, okay, as my child is going, I am going to pay for the expenses when it comes to uniforms, when it comes to textbooks, when it comes to any other thing. Now they charge maintenance and all that. My dear, it is very, very hectic. Knowing very well that my child is going to school for free, and then I go and then I'm giving this amount of money to pay, and every day they will call me, they need A4 sheets, they will call me, they need maintenance fee. Like, I mean, then what is the free?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Say free tuition fees.
Okay. So let me do this. If we are saying free, okay, and you think that for certain reasons, certain elements should be absorbed to make it really free, like you were saying. I mean, let's hold on that thought for now. I have a very serious question here. Now, are we saying because of now this in quotes hidden costs, okay, indeed, families should not be able to take their girls to school? It should be absolutely free. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Hold on. If you make it known to the parents that Mr. Philemon Edwards, as you are going to admit your child, the government is taking, or make it known to everyone that now secondary school or from from kindergarten to secondary school, the government is taking the tuition fee. So parents, what you have to pay is this and this and that. Aside that is this and this and that. That parents are going to be aware and well known of what they are going to. But if you say, hey, hold on, before the MPP came to power, it was this free education that honestly that they used to get a lot of free SHS that they used to get a lot of voters because parents were happy. They couldn't pay tuition fee, they couldn't buy textbooks and all that, and their children ended up being in the farms and helping them and all that. So when they had free SHS, let me put Uganda aside and use Ghana's situation. When they had free SHS, they were very happy because they know their children are going to school for free, only for them to be admitted, and then they came out with a list of things they have to buy for their children. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing to say free SHS or free education for girls or for children, but let it known. Let the people know what is behind. Don't just term it free SHS for you to as a propaganda or for you to gain votes, and then when it comes to the implementation, parents are being hit with expenses to pay.
Okay, so on a general note, I have a good understanding of what you're saying, and I can agree with you.
And I'm still confused. I said my time, I paid school fees, and we were giving textbooks. I returned, that's laugh. I returned these books. So I'm okay. The government took part of these textbooks and all that, even uniform.
Yeah, I know there were certain books that you use in
school. So why are they not doing now? It is no books.
At the end of the class, you take them back. I remember some of those books, like I remember some literature books and all of that. And when you're about to start a class, the teacher comes in, or even before that, your class rep is called to the staff room and has to go to some place and get the books and then come and then distribute for everybody in the class so that is given back. But there were some other textbooks I remember vividly. For I think one of my social studies textbooks, for example, those ones.
Were you given exercise books?
Yeah, those ones are given to you by the school because it's part of your fees. You are supposed to be given exercise books. But for example, I had to buy notebooks for which I had to write my own notes. Okay, but there are notes one that you have to use for classwork assignment. Those ones are given to you by the school.
Okay, let's come back to the story.
Yeah. Now, so on a general note, I'm just trying to say that I agree with you to a certain extent. But when we say the tuition has been taken away, we should understand that you are not paying for the tuition. I think that one is clear enough. But I get you when we say we have to make that communication clear enough so that people who are going to benefit from this understand clearly. But in the case of
Uganda, so aside the hidden, hidden
I mean,
cost,
I guess that they have challenges with the hidden costs, and this is purely as a result of the fact that the families who are suffering this are very, very poor. So even with the omission of tuition fees, they have problems. They cannot afford
the uniforms,
exam fees, books, and other school supplies. I guess that maybe a proper intervention should be put in place for these kinds of people, because the story tells you another part of it which we haven't spoken about yet, which is
the cultural
part of it, where they prioritize
teenage pregnancies and all that. And these things are
prioritize boys' education over girls, which is a bit of a challenge for me in this day and age. We need to walk away, okay, even if not so swiftly, gradually away from this kind of mindset. We see women in public offices and in other places do a lot of things. I believe this. We have had now a lot of a few women presidents, even in Africa, and they are doing fine. So I think that Uganda needs to think about these kinds of things and allow the young ones to be able to have a better future by having proper education, especially with the girls. I mean, I don't believe that the place of the girl is the kitchen only and marriage and having kids. They are not a factory for making babies, you know. Like, let's put some respect on and value on the other gender, okay? I mean, the Bible calls them the weaker vessels. I mean, there's a reason they are the weaker vessels, but it does not mean that they are not important, okay? I'm forced to be spiritual now. I mean, the Bible calls them the helpers for the men. So I don't see why this person can be a helper if the person is not properly educated. Okay, so we need to look at these things critically and start working away from them, because the impact on the future of these young ones is really great. And I'm surprised to notice that nobody's realizing that economically it can even affect the growth of the country.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And when we all depend on the men and all
exactly,
that,
that's going to be giving the men a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to be very objective. That's the word I was speaking of. We need to really be very objective. If the government of Uganda can put in place a certain measure where people who are from very poor households can have a certain level of leverage so that they will benefit from these kinds of things, that will be fine. Yeah. So that even with the omission of the tuition fee, something will happen for these young ones as well, because it's not a good thing, or it's not a good outlook for the future of the children currently. So I think that something should really
maybe talking about interventions, maybe the government should come up with a punishment for parents or families
who refuse.
Not refuse. But what if the student that doesn't want to go to school and wants to do?
Then
maybe
the punishment bit will be a bit of a problem.
I'm looking at the early child marriage and then teenage pregnancy. There should be a very strict punishment for parents who are involved in this. I know we follow traditions and all that, but when currently and these days, when we look at traditions that affect the third party or the person involved, like when there is this much impact, negative impacts, you should be punished for it. And that is why most times we look at these traditions and then update it, kind of modifies it so that it's not going to have a much negative impact on individuals or victims. So to me, I think maybe the government should come up with a very, very strict punishment for families, authorities, chiefs, or whoever is involved in this early marriage situations, which is preventing girls from going to school.
Yeah. So on this, there's a message from Jonathan from Ablekuma. He says, free education is a political tool government used to deceive the people. If you do a little more digging, you will realize it's just free tuition. Yeah. Let's get it clear.
Yeah.
Governments won't take entire responsibilities of parents in this day and age. And mind you, some of these funds come from donors who have strings attached when it comes to the cultural bits. Okay,
very true. So we should make it clear. My parents, please, it is tuition free, free, and not education, like free education.
Yeah,
it is free tuition for your ward, and not this and this and that. And as he's saying, these are donors, donor funded and all that. Of course, the government, if it is a political agenda and all that, the government can also go for funding for textbooks, can go for funding for school uniforms, can go for fundings for this and this and that, just to cut, if we really want to term it as free education, you can as well go for fundings for all these other things.
With the free thing, the terms and conditions must always be spelled out to parents so that they know what they are going in for. So that they don't feel like they have been deceived.
I think there's another comment on the football aspect.
Okay. I didn't see that. So this one is coming from Jeffrey from South Africa. He says there's nothing challenging here. Our task is very simple: win our games against Rwanda and Zimbabwe, then watch Nigeria and Benin and Rwanda taking crucial points from each other.
So he has accepted the punishment and saying there's nothing.
There's nothing that can be done about this punishment, because for me, it's an issue of responsibility on the part of the South African FA. So they should.
So there's still hope for Bafana to win against Rwanda and then Zimbabwe.
So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go into our last story and then we'll get into lifestyle. Stay tuned.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with aautv. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on aautv. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. aautv reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch aautv free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at aautv. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAUTV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hello Africa, keep watching AAUTV.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Welcome back from that break. We'll go straight into our next story. And West Africa's two top cocoa producers, Ghana and Ivory Coast, have announced sharp increases in farm gate prices for cocoa, reflecting soaring global demand and rising market prices. In Ghana, the government has raised the producer price of cocoa by 12%, with farmers now earning 3,625 Ghana cedis per bag. The adjustment, effective October 3rd, 2025, gives farmers about 400 Ghana cedis more per bag. Alongside the increase, Cocoa Board will intensify free distribution of inputs such as fertilizers and spraying machines, and launch a scholarship scheme for farmers' children starting in the 2026-2027 academic year. Meanwhile, in Cote d'Ivoire, President Alassane Ouattara has set a record farm gate price of 2,800 CFA franc, that's per kilogram, for the upcoming main harvest, a jump from 2,200 CFA francs set in April. The move, announced weeks before the October 25 presidential election, in which he seeks a fourth term, was warmly welcomed by farmers who said the new price will allow them to support their families and improve their livelihoods. Together, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire produce nearly 2/3 of the world's cocoa. These price hikes, while boosting farmer incomes, raise questions about sustainability, export competitiveness, and the potential ripple effects on global chocolate prices. But first of all, I think this is a very good move which benefits the farmers.
The farmers. Here you're looking at one group, the farmers.
Because really they have been marginalized for a
very long time
when it comes to the prices of cocoa that they sell to the manufacturers and the international market. So I am excited to know that at least there's some good collaboration between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire to be able to do this. Now let's look at some economic impacts about this. Okay, the 12% increase in Ghana and the record high price in Cote d'Ivoire are significant, raising labor.
The earnings for farmers.
Yes. Now, beyond this, there's going to be a scholarship scheme for farmers' children. I don't know for the Ivory Coast.
This for Ghanaian.
For Ghana, as far as I remember, when I was in senior high school, or I did SS, I don't like saying senior high school because I did senior secondary school. Good. So when I was in secondary school, I remember there were a group of students who were always considered the Cocoa Board scholarship beneficiaries. So I don't know if at some point it ended such that it's going to be restarted again. But I think that is a good initiative in any case, because these people are contributing a lot for our economy. And like we have already seen, between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, they are supplying 2/3 of the world's cocoa to the world market. Now, when it comes to politics, okay, do you think we are political when it comes to cocoa?
Political in what sense?
Such that governments use this thing as a political campaign message?
No. No.
I'm only asking because...
So, you know, just like you made mention, right? Farmers have been crying for a very, 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 very long time, especially when they were increased in taxes and all that. Hence, here they are selling their products at a very lower prices. And now that the government have heard their cries and has increased, I don't think this is politics. This is the government, listening to its citizens and then adhering to their cries and then coming up with strategies to make things easy for them. So I don't think it's politics. But again, like we made mention, we are all happy for the farmers, and now they are quite, okay with this strategy or this plan that has come up. But so when I saw this story, I think I was trying to link this to Galamsey, right? You know, most of these Galamsey sites were cocoa farms. Yes, there were these cocoa plantations or cocoa farms, and farmers or families ended up selling these to the miners to. And I think it's because they were frustrated. I mean, how can I be farming cocoa, something that is this valuable to the country at a very lower cheap, for the manufacturer, whoever added values to it, to get more money than me that I produce them. And so families just ended up selling these farms to Galamsey too, and they got huge money from it.
Yeah.
So
to add to
see
that,
the,
I've seen a video of a few farmers who say that over the last, say, 20 years they have been doing cocoa, they have not even been able to build a house for themselves. But they sold the lands
and they are doing a lot of
and
property.
now they have property. Which is sad.
So I think so. I think I'm trying to link this to Galamsey and trying to say that it's also one of the efforts that the government is trying to bring in to stop this Galamsey, because farmers were. It was so sad. I saw one video. A farmer was just cutting off the cocoa. You know, cocoa tree can be there for forever. We have one at home which has been there since I was a child, and it's still giving us fruits and all that. So seeing them cut, bending these trees and all that, something this valuable to the country just for a short period of mining and getting this huge money. I think the government has done quite well listening to the farmers and then increasing their prices. But aside the farmers, which is just one stakeholder or one group, let's also look at the others, like the manufacturers. You know, if your price is high, and we know that it is Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana that is leading when it comes to cocoa production, how about the other countries that are also into cocoa production? Here we are looking at market analysis and competitiveness. I mean, people will end up going to other countries. And should they, let's say Nigeria is the third West African country producing cocoa. Let's say they focus on Nigeria and they end up earning money. They're also going to boost their production and now be competing with Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. So yes, we are looking at farmers, we are looking at the internal stakeholders, but let's also look at the external people, manufacturers, chocolate lovers, cocoa powder producers and all that. How are they going to take this increase of prices?
But that just means one thing. You just know that prices of chocolate and cocoa products are going to go high. I just hope.
And you, as a chocolate lover, are you going to, you know, during Vows Day, I wanted to buy chocolate for, the TV unit. And when I asked of the price, I just said, okay, thank you very much. So imagine this price going up again for 10%. That's also a huge blow on the end users.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But, I mean, just to be fair, cocoa is a valuable product. The person that is growing this crop, or plant, to make sure that you have enough to be able to produce whatever you are producing and export and do whatever, deserves something out of it. So if we are not making it, lucrative enough for them, and tomorrow there are no more cocoa farmers in Ghana, can we be boasting that we and Côte d'Ivoire are the leading producers of cocoa in the world? I mean, we contribute to 2/3 of the world's cocoa. So you can imagine. So I feel the intervention is right.
It is.
It is good.
I'm not questioning it.
It's just that we need to find ways and means to adjust the prices. Unfortunately, the consumers are the ones who will bear the brunt of these hikes in prices.
And that is because it is being exported to the Western countries and then it comes back. We that we produce this chocolate, it's just one, I think Golden Tree, right? It's just one company that added values to it. But then most of it, we import it back to the
other way around for us, especially as a country like Ghana that produces a lot of cocoa, what we can do is to make sure that we are making sure that we are putting a lot of value on the cocoa that we produce here, so that what is exported, yes, let it go. Let's make the foreign exchange from there, add it to our economy and do whatever we are supposed to do. But internally, the arrangements must be made such that if I live in a country that produces cocoa, I shouldn't be buying chocolates for so expensive. You know, it shouldn't be that expensive. Okay, so these things are internal arrangements that can be done. So the value that we put on the processes to refine the cocoa to create the golden tree chocolates, the Milo drinks, the chocolate drink, whatever that cocoa goes into, we must find a way around it. It means that we must develop our systems to be able to process a lot more here.
Yeah, very true.
Whatever has to go, let it go. It will give us foreign exchange. But whatever is going to be left in here, it must remain in here, and then we benefit from it. And I mean, this goes to tell you how you didn't mention Galamsey.
Yeah.
Look at the towns that have gold, how they are struggling in those towns. They mine gold there, but the citizens or the inhabitants of those places are not even enjoying any of the benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, so this just tells you how it is reflecting on us when it comes to cocoa.
Yeah. And moving on to the last story, and still on Galamsey, on the topic of Galamsey, so we had the President John Dramani Mahama held a high-level meeting at Jubilee House with major civil society organizations to address Ghana's enduring challenges of illegal mining, and also known as Galamsey. Now, the gathering brought together senior government officials and influential voices from advocacy groups to engage in frank and constructive discussions on how to halt environmental distractions, protect communities, and ensure that resources extraction is sustainable. I'm trying to open my phone and then give out a minute to come.
Okay.
All right, so these are the group of stakeholders that came together. So we have the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, the Christian Council of Ghana, the Office of the Chief Imam, Imanis Association, the Media Foundation for West Africa, Erocha Ghana, Erocha Ghana, a small-scale mining association, Amnesty International, and the Ghana Journalists Association, among us. So these were the group of people who met with President John Dramani Mahama to discuss the ongoing Galamsey, as well as come up with strategies to halt the problem. So at the event, President Mahama urged CSOs to maintain pressure on the government, pledging transparency and continuity, and suggested that the state of emergency could be declared if the National Security Council deems it necessary. Before we go into that story, you know, the state of emergency has been a topic for a while now. People have been calling on the president to announce or state the Galamsey as an emergency for immediate actions and all that. And now, here he is meeting CSOs. I'm very happy, honestly. When I saw this, I was like, this actually tells us that the fight against Galamsey is not just the government, just like we all have been saying. We are all into it.
It's a shared responsibility.
Yes, we all need to come together and put up a strategy. So he meeting them to discuss. My friend, I mean, me being at the top there, I can't be the only one to come up with. So let's all meet. Yeah, this is the situation. Yes, what do you think? GJ, what do you think? Amnesty, what do you think? Do you get what I'm saying? So it shows that the government really wants everybody to come up with their inputs. I mean, listen to what they can say, because he has also come up with his strategies. He's also come up with remedies to fight against Galamsey, and it's ongoing currently. But what are others also saying? Rather than going to sit at the radio station and saying the government is not doing anything, or the government should do this and this and that, we are all meeting. Bring it, and then we work towards it. So it's a very good initiative done, and I hope it is going to continue. It's going to be a regular thing, and not just meeting to talk, but whatever we discuss, whatever strategies that comes up, we need to implement it as soon as possible.
I like that you mentioned that you hope it's not just to meet to talk.
Okay.
Because that's the thing that goes on a lot in Africa.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's meet and talk, and then that's it.
And it ends there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, generally, I understand why the issue of the state of emergency is a big deal for a lot of Ghanaians, because we have all seen the effect of what the Galamsey is doing to our water bodies, and now it's affecting the farm produce that's coming from many of these areas, because this is the same water that people use to water the crops and all that. Like, it's almost an epidemic, if you ask me. So I get why people are worried about the state of emergency. That's also because the president did say that he won't hesitate to, institute one. So if you are in office now and it's about 9 months down the line, now we have entered the 10th month, and we are not seeing any action, it becomes worrying. So I get why people are crying out and calling for immediate action and all of that, which is fair, because the damage is far too much. Now, for me, I get that this meeting was important. The stakeholders and the CSOs who came together were relevant. And the president has stated that when it becomes necessary, he will do what he has to do.
Yeah.
Right now, he thinks that there are still options that can be exploited to be able to bring this thing to a complete end.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that, again, to borrow your words, you hope it's not just to meet and talk. We have had enough under previous governments. Now we are here. One of the key messages of his campaign was part of these issues. So I feel like, personally, the action must be drastic. I mean, it is sad to recall the
but I do
people.
see some videos, some drastic measures that have been. I mean,
Yes.
they seizing their excavators, burning them, sacking them from the sites, arresting
they
them.
would return. Because
And now, I think yesterday, right, I saw on TV that now they are filling these Galamsey sites with sand, like they are filling out the holes, the holes that were created. I mean, they are trying to restore the environment, the site.
so
I'm seeing
it's fine.
some actions ongoing.
It's fine, but you see, to stop the whole thing is what is key. It's not about recovering the lands only, because seizure of excavators is fine, but you see, it's not just one excavator, there are several of them. So these people will still find ways and means to do these things. But we need, when I talk about a radical part, what I mean is that we should make sure that you are arresting or dealing with the people on site, number one. For the sake of clarity, what we hear is there are, in quotes, what they are calling kingpins behind the people on the site. These people should be clamped down, arrested, the law deals with them, whatever must be done should be done.
Yeah, so if they arrest
Okay.
you on site and then you mentioned me as the one funding or supporting you, of course they will come in, but if the people
That's
don't
fair.
say, yeah,
But I haven't seen
you
or
know,
heard
any action
that a supposed
person,
kingpin or alleged kingpin has been arrested or been clamped down. I mean, we hear a lot of rumors. These are not justified, so we can't conclude and say so and so or ABCD is involved in these kinds of things. But that is why we have the police. We have regulatory bodies and institutions that can do the job to follow up on these things and quickly. So the resolution that we need, as somebody say ASAP yesterday, okay, we need like the resolution like now, because the damage is far too, I mean, I don't know what adjective to use to qualify it. So we need quick, immediate resolutions. That's why we voted this government into office. Okay, the previous government, the president, they said that he was putting his job on the line.
Yeah.
We didn't see much action. It was a huge disappointment. So if 10 months down the line, we are still talking
and
more
not
than acting,
Okay.
people will still cry.
Yeah.
People will talk. People want the solutions.
Yeah.
Now, as a result of this Galamsey, Ghana Water might increase tariffs because it's costing them more to purify water
and
that comes
even
through
that
our taps.
alone is also health, in terms of health wise.
Yes.
It is very, very bad.
There's a huge risk in there.
They are going to put in a lot of chemicals
Yes.
to purify the water.
It's
and
a
that alone
huge
is
risk.
also-
So I've just said how much damaging it is to the country, eventually to the economy. So I understand the president. This is not an event, like he put it. So it's not a one-day thing. It's a process.
Yeah.
We have to keep going. But you see, you can't keep going at the old pace. If your effort was maybe 5% every day, you probably must make it 30% or 50%. We need speedy resolutions. We can't wait further. Okay? So I feel like the action must be radical. enough of the talk.
Enough of the talking.
Enough
meetings,
of the meetings. Enough of,
yeah.
I mean, we don't need to even put all of these stakeholders together at a meeting to come in. We have seen enough. So let's get to work.
Okay.
For me, let's get to work. It's as simple as that.
Hopefully, very soon you are going to hear the state of emergency of to fight against Galamsey. Just like
I hope that the national security would deem it as an issue of whatever, and then and then advise the president, because that's what the president says will get him to institute the state of emergency.
Right. Okay. So this brings us to the end of the news review. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we shall dive into the lifestyle segment. Please stay tuned.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
This is Hello Africa on AAU TV.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
You're welcome back from the break, and this is the lifestyle segment, and today we are having quite entertaining stories from the showbiz segment industry. Yeah, so the first story, we have Shatta Wale aiming for the 2026 Grammy nomination. So Shatta Wale has taken a major step towards international recognition of his 2025 single Street Crown, which has officially been submitted for Grammy consideration. Now this announcement was made in 1st October 2025 and confirms that the song has been entered into the category named or titled Best African Music Performance. Now, in a statement shared with fans, Shatta Wale expressed deep gratitude for the milestone, saying the moment represents not only his personal achievement, but also a victory for Ghana, Africa, and every supporter of African dancehall. He highlighted that this recognition symbolized the rise of African music from the streets to the global stage. He also acknowledged the dedication of his fan base, noting that regardless of the outcome, the nomination process itself marked a win for the Shatta movement and for young people driven by hard work, consistency, and faith. So if Street Crown progresses through the review stages, Shatta Wale could earn his first ever Grammy nomination at the 2026 awards. Featured on his Voice of the Crown EP, the track has already received acclaim locally and internationally for its authenticity, lyrical messages, and refined production. So Phil, this is Shatta Wale. You know, when I saw this story, when it comes to Shatta Wale and awards, sometimes we have this story behind it, the VGMA Awards, when he didn't win after being nominated, and then he composed a song for VGME.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's looking at that side, but are we expecting a song for Grammy? Should he not? But anyway, that is just by the way. But I'm very, very happy, very, very happy for Shatta Wale for having the interest to submit, especially this song, Street Crown.
Yeah.
I listened to the lyrics, and we all know Shatta Wale for his, this I don't know how to even, I don't know the word to put it, but these aggressive songs and these street songs, very loud and all that. But this song actually is very calming, very soothing, inspirational, gives this motivation. And just like he made mention, it's like it gives hopes for young people on the street that you can make it, no matter what people are doing, no matter what the setback, no matter the challenges you face, you can do it. And that is how he termed the street crown. Although you are from the streets, you should know that you have a crown. You are a king. You can get there. You are a queen, and you can get there. So, kudos to Shatta Wale for having the intention or the interest to submit. But the category, when I saw Best African Music Performance, I was like, okay, so what does it mean? Is it that he went to perform the song somewhere? That's where he's going for this category. But after further research, I realized that it's actually there's a difference between Best African or Best Song and then Best Performance. With the Best Song, it goes to the artist only and then the song. But with the Best Performance, it looks at everybody involved. So from the producer to the artist to whoever, the video, the videographer and all that. So I think, it makes sense. And the song, just like the story made mention, has it's all over the world. Not just in Ghana, not just in Africa, but all over the world. Have you heard the song?
I've heard the song. So let's take a look at the video of the song. And for those who haven't seen that song yet, just take a look at this video first.
Where the dust rises, the kings are made. No throne, no roof, just the shadows shed. Brick by brick, we build from pain. Under the streets lights, we carve our name. The horns blow loud, they sing our fight. We chase the dawn through endless nights. Street corner my head, I'm staying real. Every scar's a bulge, every wound will heal. They can't break me, no they never will. Street corner my head, I'm made of steel. Street corner my head, I'm staying real. Every scar's a bulge, every wound will heal. They can't break me, no they never will. Street corner my head, I'm made of steel. Concrete whispers, stories untold. Dreams are diamonds in the city sold. Sweat on my brows, the grind don't stop. Climbing high from the ground to the rooftop. The drums don't lie, they call my name. The rhythm's fire, fueling my flame. Street corner my head, I'm staying real. Every scar's a bulge, every wound will heal. They can't break me, no they never will. Street corner my head, I'm made of steel. Street corner my head, I'm staying real. Every scar's a bulge, every wound will heal. They can't break me, no they never will. Street corner my head, I'm made of steel.
Okay, Okay, so that was Shatawale giving us the Street Crown song, and listening to the lyrics, I'm really touched. Yeah, this is a very, very it is a very, very good music, especially the chorus. It says, "Street crown on my head, I'm staying real. Every scar's a badge, every wound will heal. They can't break me, nor they never will. Street crown on my head, and I'm made of steel." So this is from Shatawale. And I'm really, fingers crossed, I really hope and wish he's going to win. Not just the nomination, he going through the process or and just being nominated, but he winning, because this is really a song to motivate you if you're going through situations, if you feel that people are against you, if you feel that things are not going on well. You know, you should believe that you are made of steel, right?
Absolutely. And I think Shatta is one guy who is himself definitely made of steel.
Of course, he's gone through a lot, from bandana to Shatawale to a whole lot of Bruhaha stories and all. He's gone through a lot.
His transition from bandana to Shatawale is one thing I celebrate for him, because I haven't seen an artist reinvent himself like what Shatta has done. So I feel it is definitely made of steel, and I do hope that this song goes through.
Yeah, I do as well.
Even if he doesn't win, if he for me, if he ends the nomination,
I'm hoping for the win. I'm really. I mean,
I don't want to be too hopeful, because you know the Grammys are the Grammys. It's the Grammys are really hard to win.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, Rocky Dawuni has been nominated at least 4 or 5 times. It's not even won it once yet. And we know the caliber of what Rocky does. I can't compare Rocky to Shatta, because their genre of music is different. But for a guy like Dawuni and the effect he has on Ghana music and on a global stage, to be nominated like 4 to 5 times and still hasn't won it once, it's some way, okay? But it just goes to tell you that there's a lot of competition when it comes to the Grammys. Like it's the biggest stage when it comes to awards. So for me, that's why I'm saying that even if he ends the nomination alone, it's a win for me. Okay. Yeah. So that for me, that is what it is.
I have a friend who is a very, very like great fan of Shatawale. I'm hoping to hear his side of this good news. But we have a comment from Chris, who is located at East Lagos. He says, "Congratulations for the One King. Well deserved." And then this is from Richmond, from Accra Technical University. He's saying, "I recall in 2016 and 2023, Stonebwoy faced heavy criticism for submitting his work for potential nomination. Even after earning a Grammy certificate, he was still dragged. Now the same folks are celebrating submission." KK. Hey. Very true. I remember that story. And even Shatawale was part. He was teasing Stonebwoy. Yes. for nominating for Grammy Awards. And now you are you know, okay, well.
It is what it is. I mean, if you were...
Then we were bashing Stonebwoy, but now we want to celebrate Shatawale, so that's fine.
For me, it is the game. It is what it is. It
is the game. It is what it is. So congratulations in advance to Shatawale. We are hoping that he makes it and wins the Grammy Award for the Best African Music Performance category. Now moving on to the next story, which is a bit sad. We had fans mourning TikTok star Osanju, who was laid to rest on Saturday, October 4, 2025. His name is Elvis Frimpong, but popularly known as Osanju. And the solemn ceremony took place at the Otriman Koforidua School Park in the Ashanti region, drawing hundreds of mourners, including family, friends, and colleagues from the entertainment industry. Fellow TikTok influencers and celebrities such as Nana Mama Brown, Oheneba Jude, Asafo Powers, Amaye Boa, and Last Hero gathered to pay their final respect to the young content creator whose vibrant personality and humor had won him a nationwide following. The atmosphere was filled with sorrow as close friends and fellow creator Amaye Boa reportedly fainted upon seeing Osanju's body, while his grieving father broke down in tears, surrounded by mourners offering comfort. At the close of the service, His white coffin, adorned with logos of his favorite football club, Barcelona, was carried to his final resting place, marking an emotional farewell to a life that ended too soon. Meanwhile, Osanjo's family has confirmed the cause of his death. Nearly a week after his passing, stunned fans across Ghana. Now, according to an autopsy, the 30-year-old influencer died of leukemia, a form of blood cancer he had quietly battled for years. Family representatives revealed that he fell critically ill on 1st September and was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital before being transferred to the Comfort Anoche Teaching Hospital, where he passed away shortly after arrival. His uncle later recounted the doctor's explanation that Osanjo's condition worsened after complications with his medication. So, Phil, I don't know if you know him, Osanjo.
Yeah,
he lost his mother, I think, earlier this year. Not
too long ago.
Not long ago. And we actually, myself, personally, I got to know him after his mom's demise. And I saw some of the videos, some funny videos they make. They are content creators on TikTok, very, very popular on TikTok. And his mother was quite hilarious and all that. But so
his mom too. He involved his mom in the content.
Yes, in the content creation. So losing his mom was very, very hard to take. And the guy himself, Osanjo, he was grieving, but he was mourning his mom, but he was not crying. He didn't really break down like we were all expecting. People were questioning his why he was not crying, why he was making fun out of it. But this is a content creator, so if you put a camera if you put a camera on him, he's going to act like he used to. So although and then now comes he's also going following his mom and all that. It was quite sad.
It is sad
getting to know that he had leukemia and had all this with him, and
it's sad. It's sad. I encountered him his first video some time ago, about last year. He was making fun of Sarkodie when he tasted a drink, the Hennessy drink. Sarkodie always talks about Hennessy, and so in that video he tasted the Hennessy drink and said, this drink is that bitter. And then Sarkodie is always making fuss about it. What's the fuss about all of this? That kind of thing. But it just tells you how hilarious he was. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't see many of his videos, but the few that I saw, it just tells you how hilarious he was. It's just sad to lose a person at that age of 30, giving people a bit of joy on social media and all of that. It's sad. Condolences to his family and close friends and associates. And beyond that, I would just say that people should take their health more seriously and focus on, if you have some kind of medical condition, please try to do something around it. What I know, not all of the issues can be managed properly, like leukemia. It's quite crazy. I remember growing up when I knew people like Danny White, who's gone to glory. That was the first time I had actually heard about leukemia. Danny White was a champion of that. But we've had people and things of that nature happen back to back. So if you have some kind of medical condition, please take care of yourself, and then I believe God will equally take care of you, and then we all will live longer for our parents, our families, our loved ones.
So on this note, we are wishing Elvis Frimpong, popularly known as Osanjo, resting in peace, and also condolences to the family and other TikTok influencers. Now, on this note, we are wrapping up, and this has been the Hello Africa Morning Show, and my name is Isabella Teta Hinako, and I've been doing this with my co-host
Philemon Edwards. We'll be with you same time next week. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.